Welcome to day one of 30 days of gratitude. It's always a good time to add a little bit more gratitude into our daily practices, but especially when there's less light and days are getting shorter, nights are getting longer, and we can become more susceptible to a lower winter and late fall mood. This is a nice time to infuse the warming qualities of saying thank you more often into our day-to-day routine. So I'd like to start by inviting you to do something simple, and maybe this is an intention, something that you know is a good idea, you practiced it before, it does make a difference, but it's so easy to get out of the habit, and that is keeping a gratitude journal. It takes just a minute or two to start your morning with a page of gratitude, and it can make such a big difference. So let's give it a try. Find a journal, open up to a fresh page. You can write the date, and I wrote my gratitude list just before recording this. And so just take a few minutes to start with the first thing that comes to your mind. So for me, it was gratitude for the acceptance and the ease in my relationship right now. Things can change, but when things are good, let's take a moment to say thank you and to really live in the good. So start with what feels right for you, what feels really true, and begin to make a list. Write down things that are wide in scope, like how easy it is for us to feed ourselves and shop for food, and get really specific, maybe about being grateful for a specific scent, a specific candle, your favorite tree or flower. But just begin to write, stream of consciousness, everything that you're grateful for right here and right now. And I'll give you a moment or two. When you're starting to feel complete, begin to deepen your breath and start to notice how it feels to pay attention to everything that you already have. That's not necessarily what we're wired to do. We're wired to look for what's wrong, which can leave us feeling in a state of perpetual lack. Keeping track of what we're grateful for reminds us that what we have is already so much, and maybe even enough. Allow your inhalations to be infused with the idea of receiving what you already have, making a moment to really receive the reality of your space and the comforts of home and the things around you that you appreciate, that make your life easier, that surround you with beauty. So take a moment to consider your inhalation as a way of bringing what you are grateful for towards you. And let's move this into a breath technique where you watch your inhalation move into your heart and your exhalation move down from the chest in towards the ground. So this is a breath technique symbolic for grounding us into gratitude on the first day of our practices. So a few more rounds like that together. Picture your inhalation, and maybe your inhalation is a count of 3 or 4, moving right into the center of the chest. And your exhalation is longer, and picture it moving down the central channel and out, just like the tailbone could root a little bit more deeper. It's like that breath could move towards the ground and ground you more deeply into gratitude, into appreciation. And consider yourself receiving what it feels like to be grateful for the abundance that surrounds us. With every inhale, you're receiving more of that feeling. Maybe choosing a couple of things that you wrote down in your journal that you are most specifically grateful for, and contemplating that. Taking some more time to appreciate them. Breath in and breath down. Also working with a few of the directions that prana moves in the more subtle aspect of our bodies. But I invite you to think about grounding yourself into feeling thankful. Grounding yourself into the intention to practice more gratitude for the next 30 days. Now let's embody that gratitude in a little bit of a flow. Inhale. Use your body now to open up to receive more of what you are grateful for. Cactus arms, spread those fingers, kiss the shoulder blades together, maybe lift the chin. And then as you exhale, bring the forearms to touch. Interlace the hands and squeeze, and drop the chin towards the chest with your breath. So a nice brief morning practice to free the joints of your body, to awaken your body before the movements to come, and an embodiment of receiving what we are grateful for, making more space for receiving. Warming up fingers, shoulders, spine and neck here. Move in time with your breath. Longer exhalations. And then come forward to all fours. And let's continue to warm up hands and wrists, shoulders, hips and knees. Inhale, kiss the shoulder blades, gaze up, and then exhale. Sink the hips down towards the heels if that's okay for your knees. Make this work for you. Use the muscles of your hands as you come forward, and then just slightly draw the shoulder blades towards one another. Maybe gaze up, and then round slightly. Abdominal wall is strong, and sink the hips back towards the heels. Spread the fingers, root into the finger pads. Really firm around those elbows. Shoulder blades kiss. And then exhale, very slowly sink the hips. Doesn't this feel like a really beautiful embodiment of opening up to what we're grateful for, and then this bow of thanks? And you might introduce a mantra of thank you. Allowing your whole initial waking breath work and movement to be an offering of gratitude for the abundance that surrounds you, what you already have. It's so easy to spend so much time thinking about what we're striving for, what we need to get, what we need to achieve. What happens if every day we give ourselves a few moments to sit into what we have achieved, to celebrate what we have already attained, what we already have? Next time you come up, come forward into a prone position. Anchor the tops of the feet. Anchor the pubic bones so you have a spacious low back. Tent those fingertips. Kiss the shoulder blades. Think more length and lift. A few rounds pulsing in and out of baby cobras. A really good morning movement as you train the muscles that draw the shoulder blades towards one another to continue to keep the shoulder blades on those upper back ribs. So throughout the day, shoulders are back and you have more space across the chest. Keep moving with breath, nice long exhalations. And then tuck those toes, abdominal wall strong, press yourself all the way back up. And you decide, this could be a child's pose or spread those fingers wide, wrist creases parallel with the top edge of the yoga mat. Press your hands down and forward. Lift those knees and hips, upside down letter V, but keep the knees deeply bent as you stretch the hips away from your wrists. Let your neck be free and lift the ribs and the abdomen. And then we'll come up and down. Inhale, kiss the shoulder blades. Exhale, abdominal wall is strong. Press the hands down and forward and come on up to a bent knee forward fold. Firm around the elbows, ribs and abdominal wall lifting. And then just move that in time with your nice inhalations and your longer exhalations. And perhaps with your mantra of thank you. And finally, perhaps holding a downward facing dog. You might be walking out this dog, or holding your child's pose, or holding your down dog, and then practicing a child's pose. This lovely prostration, devotion, an embodiment of thank you. And to close, just take a seat that feels comfortable for you. And if you're comfortable exploring a mudra, find Padma Mudra, where you're connecting the outer thumbs and outer pinkies, and you're creating almost a chalice-like motion and shape with your hands. Come back into the breath technique. This time, imagine your inhalation moving into this, again, embodiment of a lotus flower. And send your exhalation down. You're establishing roots for this receptive shape. Breathing in this constant stream of receiving what we already have. That's the practice of gratefulness, is continually receiving what we already have. And let's send the breath down the central channel, beyond the body into the ground, grounding ourselves into the practice of gratitude for the coming days. And if you haven't yet, thank your body for the way that it supports you in this morning practice and beyond. And thank you for joining me for this journey of appreciation.